back again. Today, I'm actually going to cook something that I can eat, and that is I'm going to sear up some salmon and roast it in the oven, and I'm also going to sear up chicken because we have a fish allergy in the house, so I have to do 2 proteins today. But I'm going to make some seared chicken that I'm then going to roast in the oven also. So I'm going to be using several tools today. We're going to break this up a little bit. So right now I'm going to show you how I'm going to season up the chicken, and then I'll grab the salmon that has been marinating in mango nectar and some other seasonings, and I'll let you know what those are. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the chicken. So the first thing that I need to do is to drizzle the chicken in olive oil, but instead of just drizzling it in olive oil, I'm going to use our kitchen spritzer, which I showed before with the chicken pot pie video. If you haven't seen that, you should go and see it. I got rave reviews, but check it out. But this kitchen spritzer, you can put whatever kind of oil that you want in here and use it as a spray, similar to Pam and, you know, those different sprays that you would buy in the store, but it's actually your own oil, so you know exactly what you're using and exactly what you're eating. So that's what's in here. So I'm going to spray down the chicken breast that's here on my flexible cutting mat. You probably can't see it because it's pretty similar to the color of my counter, so I'll grab another one. This is the orange one. I don't use my grooved cutting board that you're used to seeing because it's wooden. I use these cutting mats because these can be washed off and kept sanitary, and I only use this yellow one here for meat, for raw meat. So that's why you can't see it. But I just sprayed down the one side with the olive oil. I'm going to sprinkle on some seasoning salt. And the Pampered Chef Herb de Provence seasoning mix. It is very fragrant. It is has a lot of different, maybe like similar to Italian seasoning and things like that. So I'm going to sprinkle that on here also. And some pepper, which I didn't take out. Just put a little pepper on here. I have my olive oil heating up behind me, and I'm just going to flip these over and season the other side. So again, the seasonings that I've used are just seasoning salt, pepper, and the herb de Provence, and it has marjoram, fennel seed, rosemary, thyme, basil. So a little bit more of a fragrant season than you would get out of an Italian seasoning. So it's a little more complex. It's really good to put in olive oil and to use as a dipping sauce for bread. Which I'm not supposed to be eating, but many of you can. So if you want to just let this sit in some olive oil for a couple days just to give it that fragrant flavor, and use it as a bread dipping sauce, that would be really, really good. That's the Herb de Provence seasoning from Pampered Chef. So I'm going to sear up these chicken breasts, and I'm going to grab the salmon out of the oven, and I'll be back. Okay. I've seared up the chicken 2 minutes each side. It's still raw on the inside, which is fine because we're going to put it in the oven with some Brussels sprouts to finish roasting inside the oven. But right now, what I have in my 8-cup glass leak-proof container is some salmon that has been marinating. And I have put in here, in this marinade, some lemon juice, mango nectar, the herb de Provence that we used on the chicken, and some salt and pepper, just some kosher salt and pepper. So that has been marinating in here for about 6 hours, and I'm going to now sear up the salmon the same way that I seared up the chicken. A little bit less though, because salmon, if you overcook it, you know, you just wasted all your time. But I'm gonna go ahead and sear up this salmon 2 minutes aside on high heat and some olive oil. And when I'm done with that, I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my salmon over there searing behind me, skin side down now. I started with the skin side up so that I could get a good sear on the top. And this leak-proof glass container I really like because, like I said, we do have a fish allergy in the house. So I'm able to use this for anything because it's glass and a lot less porous or non-porous than if I were to marinate it in a plastic container, and then it's not wasteful in using Ziploc bags or anything like that that would have to be thrown away. So I really like the glass leak-proof container because I can do fish in it today, chicken in it tomorrow, or whatever, and it's fine. So I'm gonna grab this salmon out of the skillet and put it onto our half sheet pan that I've also sprayed down with the olive oil spray. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be back. So to go with the chicken and the salmon, I have some Brussels sprouts. I'm going to toss them in some olive oil and some seasonings and throw those in the oven with the chicken. And I also have some potatoes going in my rock crock in the microwave. You can probably hear it. But I'm going to get those nice and soft and boiled. Mash them down and then roast those in the oven on the same pan as the salmon. So we can get this done in basically 2 pans, so a lot less dishes for us to have to clean up later. So I'm going to open up this bag of Brussels sprouts and start chopping them up, cutting them in half. So now I have all of my Brussels sprout halves in here. We do have a tool that would make this a lot easier if I had it. It's called our closing cut, that you could just put all of the Brussels sprouts in at one time, close it down, and just slice through, and that would have cut my time in half. So I'm going to have to grab that for myself. But I'm going to toss this around in a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper, so I'm going to grab that.
This would be set up too.
Salt and pepper. Just going to toss this around a little bit with my mixing scraper, the large one. Obviously, as you've been watching any of my videos, you can tell that's this mixing scraper is one of my favorite tools. I'm going to put a little more pepper on here. Toss that around, and this is going to actually, I'm going to put this on the pan with my salmon, and since I am not having any potatoes, this is going to go right into the oven at 350. I'm going to put that in the oven for about 20 minutes or so, and then that'll be ready to go. Okay, so we're back. I had some potatoes in the rock crock in the microwave. Just a little bit of water in the bottom, and I put them in there for about 15 minutes just to boil them in the microwave, keeping my stove clear. So I'm going to use this tool, which is called our mix and mash. I'm gonna take each of these potatoes out and put them onto the sheet with the chicken that we seared. Sun is signaling to me that my apron is doing its own thing over here, so fix that up. I love that this little tool is doing double duty. It's a slotted spoon in this sense, and it's going to double up, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it to mash these potatoes down and make some potatoes that my family really enjoys. Okay, so I have one last one, and that's that. So I'm going to move this out of the way, put this in the sink because I'm going to use this again for broccoli. Again, in the microwave, seasoned up with a little bit of salt, pepper, and butter. No, I don't need that. This hasn't even been hot yet. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna mash these potatoes down with this masher, just like that. Not completely mashed like you would do a mashed potato, which you can do with this tool, but that's not what I'm doing today. I'm gonna do a different kind of a smashed down roasted potato with some olive oil, some salt and pepper, and then a little bit of cheese on top. It looks really messy right now, but it will be gorgeous when it's done. So let me just mash that one down. All right. And grab my olive oil, spritz again. This little thing here has just been a lifesaver. Makes it very easy to drizzle the olive oil. And as you can see, the meat, you can probably see that it's still pink in the center there because it's not cooked all the way through. We're gonna cook these both in the oven together. So that's the olive oil. I'm gonna find some kosher salt this time. So I have the potatoes, I have the olive oil on, and I'm just gonna sprinkle on some kosher salt and some pepper. For these potatoes, I prefer kosher salt. It has better flavor for this. This is a very simple potato, so kind of need that little extra punch. And then it kind of gives it a little salty crunch to it. It's really good. And I'm just gonna throw this in the oven on 350 and finish this off. This should take to cook the chicken all the way through, about another 15 minutes. So we're gonna throw that in the oven now. And you probably saw this back there on the stove, but this is the completed salmon and roasted Brussels sprouts, which is gonna be my meal for tonight. The salmon, again, was marinated in some mango nectar, a little bit of lemon juice, the herb de Provence, and what else did I put in there? Some salt and pepper. And then the Brussels sprouts, we just tossed in a little bit of olive oil and some salt and pepper and put it all on the same pan. So it's a one pan meal. I'm gonna show you how well this salmon cooks up. So, let's take my fork here. Can you zoom in a little bit for me, Marlon? You can see how, trying to get that in there, flaky that salmon is. So it's nice and moist and flaky. So that's just searing it up on the stove and throwing it in the oven to finish. So I'm actually gonna eat this now. we're still waiting for the chicken to come out because my daughter again has a fish allergy. So when the chicken comes out with the potatoes and everything, it'll be time for everyone to eat. The last thing that I did want to do is throw some broccoli in the rock crock, and I'm going to put that in the microwave for about 15 minutes with some butter, seasoning, salt, and pepper. And when the chicken comes out, it'll come out at the same time as the broccoli, and that'll be ready to be plated for dinner for the family. All right, thanks. So the chicken is now ready, and the potatoes that we put in, and the same time that it took to cook these vegetables, these vegetables in the microwave. So the chicken is all cooked thoroughly, and the potatoes are ready. I just tossed some shredded cheese on top, and I'm gonna throw this in the oven while it's off, just so that the cheese can melt and be bubbly on top and be really good. And then the vegetables are all done. All I did was put in a little bit of butter, some seasoning salt, and some pepper, and I threw this in the microwave. No water, nothing. These were frozen, fresh frozen vegetables, and I just threw that in the microwave for 15 minutes while the chicken and potatoes cooked off in the oven. So all of this is pretty much done. I'm just gonna let this melt a little bit. So when you cook in the microwave with the rock crock, it's going to be very similar to you cooking it on the stove top, because it's going to hold the temperature. It's a double walled ceramic container, so I love it. So as soon as that is done in the oven, we will be all set for dinner. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, or if you're interested in booking a party, I just got distracted. The director from Pamper Chef is actually doing a live video, so I'm between doing my video and watching her video. So we're all very enthusiastic about what we do here. It's a lot of fun. It's a great group of people. But anyways, back to what I was saying. If you have any questions or you want to book a party and earn yourself a rock crock, hostesses get rock crocks for 60% off in the month of February with a qualifying party. Or perhaps you want to start a Pamper Chef business like I have yourself, and enjoy some of the perks of doing what it is that I love to do. Just let me know. I will post my email address at the end of this video. And like my page, share my video for other people who may be interested as well. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.